used to tell myself that being single was amazing all the time. I have my freedom, independence, peace. Yeah, all of that. And while parts of that are true, the older I get, the more I realize that being single isn't all good. There are bad days, lonely nights, moments when I wish I had someone to just be there. Not to fix anything, but to share the little things with. And I don't think we talk about that enough. We're so quick to spin singleness into a success story, and sure, it can be, but it can also be frustrating, heavy, and even painful sometimes. What I'm learning though is how to embrace all of it, the good and the bad, to hold peace for the loneliness without letting it define me, to accept that yes, being single has its hard parts, but it also gives me the chance to grow in ways I never expected it. This is me learning to live fully, even when I'm doing it alone. I've always preached about the good of being single, and that for those who are in the point of their life of where they are giving the chance to live their single life is to embrace it and see the good in it. But of course, being single is not always happy and dandy because there's always the bad side to singleness. So on this episode, I'll be sharing with you some of the bad things I've experienced as a single woman. And no, those things aren't that bad. It's just things that I find to be challenging and hard to live life as a single person. If you are interested in knowing more about the shadow side of singleness, keep listening because you don't want to miss this episode. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of yours Druelee. It is I, your one and only host, Druelee, of course. How is everyone doing? I hope everyone is doing well. I hope that your spring, summer is nice. I know that in Minnesota, the weather, okay. First, we have the rain, and then we have the hot scorching temperature, if you want to call it. Yes, we've been having some weird weather. And there were days where the weather is just fine and cool with the sun out, right? But I hope that everyone is doing well, that you are staying hydrated. If you have nowhere to go, stay put at home, blast your AC, stay cool, make sure you drink a lot of water. Again, like I said, stay hydrated because, yeah, the heat itself is not playing. It's not joking around with anyone, okay? Other than that, I know it's been a minute, okay? It's been a minute, but yes, your homegirl is just keeping busy, just thinking about life. And yeah, I don't know if I'm having like epiphany or I'm just taking a pause and reflecting on my life and how far I've come so far. But yeah, I've been thinking a lot about my life, and specifically on the introduction of this episode, if you guys heard it, I want to talk more about the shadow side of being single. Now, in the past episodes, I've talked about the good side of being single, how great it is to be single, right? It's the light side of singleness. But what I haven't really covered with you guys is the shadow side, or the dark, not the dark side, but kind of like the bad side of being single. I'm not saying that being single is really bad. I'm just saying that there are things that I've experienced thus far of being single that has challenged me to live life differently from families and friends, or just society in general. And for those who are single, you can relate with me. I just wanted to talk to you guys about the shadow side of being single that many people don't really talk about. On the surface, I can say I am fine. I go out with my friends and families. I work. I keep myself busy. But there's this invisible weight I do carry that no one sees. Because as a person who is single, everything falls on me. Every decision, every errand, every hard day, I have to carry it alone. And yeah, it makes me look and feel strong, but it also makes me tired. No one tells me how confusing it is to feel like I'm building a life that no one else is part of. I'll accomplish something big or even just make it through a rough day. And there's no one to say, I saw what you did. That mattered. And that absence, it's really loud, okay? Then there's the loneliness that sneaks in, even when I am surrounded by people. I could be laughing with friends or checking off goals and still feel like something's missing. Not a person necessarily, but presence. That quiet assurance that someone's in my corner by default. When choosing to be single, that sense of emotional safety has to come entirely from me. And I'm being completely honest, sometimes I wonder, is it just a season or is this how my life will be? I don't say this for pity. I say it because this is the part of single life we don't post about. It's the part we brush off with, I'm focusing on myself right now, or I'm just really busy. But underneath that is the truth. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's lonely. And sometimes I just wish someone else would see it. Living as a single person, especially for the long haul, isn't just about not having a plus one at weddings or someone to split the rent with. It's about walking into my apartment, turning on the lights, and realizing no one's waiting for me. No one's going to ask how my day was. And if something amazing happens or something awful, I might find myself staring at my phone, wondering who would actually care enough to hear about it in real life. Now, don't get me wrong, singleness has its perks. I can eat cereal for breakfast. I can spend 3 hours scrolling through TikTok in peace, which honestly, I do that, okay? And I can actually take up my entire bed. And yes, freedom is great until it feels like isolation. People often romanticize the single life. You get to discover yourself, they say. Enjoy your independence. Sure, but let me ask you this. How many times can you discover yourself alone on a Friday night binge watching shows everyone is watching with their partners? How independent does it feel when you get the flu and no one's there to bring you a soup or just to check if you're breathing? That's really sad, you guys, okay? But then there's the mental load. Every decision, every errand, every minor crisis falls squarely on me. Need to fix the Wi-Fi? That's on me. Emergency at 2 a.m.? Yes, I have to drive myself to get to the hospital, okay? Did I forget to buy the toilet paper? All of that, I have to buy it on my own. There's no one to share that tiny, annoying burdens that stack up like Tetris blocks until your brain feels like it's glitching. Oh, and let's talk about the holidays, okay? You ever notice how every major celebration revolves around families, more likely couples or groups of friends? Thanksgiving, there's couples. New Year's, couples. Valentine's Day, don't even get me started. And while everyone else is posting boomerangs of champagne toast, I'm just sitting there, holding my own glass, just wondering if I should pretend to be asleep by 10 p.m. just to get the day over with. But the hardest part is not about the logistics. It's not even the loneliness in the obvious moments. It's the quiet loneliness. The one that creeps in during small victories, where I finally pay off that credit card debt and there's no one there to high five me. No one to say, I see you and I'm proud of you. And then, of course, there's the pressure. My mom, she always asks me, when are you going to get married again? Are you dating someone? Are you going to settle down? And then I have friends who will ask me, have you tried the dating apps? Have you gone on dates? And a lot of time people will say that maybe you're too picky. Everyone thinks they're helping, which I really do appreciate everyone for having concerns for me. But really, it just reminds me that my current state of being is viewed as temporary, like I'm incomplete, like my life is on pause until someone else comes to press play. But here's the thing I've learned. Being single can be hard, but it's also real. It forces me to be honest with myself. It shows me where my cracks are and gives me the power to fill them myself. It teaches me resilience, patience, and sometimes grace. Being single isn't all bad. I've grown a lot. I've gotten to know myself in ways I probably wouldn't have if I was constantly sharing my life with someone else. But that doesn't mean there aren't things about being single that suck. And I think it's okay to admit that. So here's me being real and sharing with you about the 5 major things that I've experienced as a single person, which I see the shadow side of singleness. The first and foremost that I want to share with you guys is that when I embarked in this single life, I have noticed that I am doing everything alone. Doing life alone in general, it can be lonelier than people think. And I don't mean grabbing a cup of coffee by myself or watching Netflix solo. Those moments I can handle because I do them every day, okay? And sometimes I even enjoy them. But it's not the constantness of being alone that wears on me. It's waking up in the morning and realizing there's no one next to me. There's no voice, no touch, no present, just my thoughts echoing back at myself. Again, it's making every decision alone: what to eat, where to go, how to handle the hard stuff. When there's no one to bounce ideas off, no one to say, yeah, that makes sense, or hey, maybe you should try it this way, even the small choices feel heavier. Doing life alone means facing every breakdown by myself. Crying inside of my car without anyone knocking on my car window asking if I'm okay. Holding myself through heartbreaks, stress, fear, and disappointment because there's no one else to hold me. It's also the silence, the kind that goes deeper than just not hearing another voice. It's the silence of not being seen, not being checked on, not being missed. I mean, I can go days without real connection and the world just keeps moving. And I think what makes it lonelier is that I still have to function. I still have to smile. I still have to work, be present in life while carrying that invisible weight. People see that I'm doing fine and they assume I am fine. But on the inside, I will have to say a part of me just wished someone was doing life with me. It's not about being weak or needy or dependent of another person. It's about being human. Humans are wired for connection, for shared joy, shared struggles, shared everything. So yeah, doing and being alone all the time, it gets lonely. Even when I'm strong, even when I'm independent, even when I made peace with it. Because at the end of the day, I'm sure we all want someone to come home to, someone to share the silence with, so it doesn't feel so loud. The second thing that I've experienced being single and the dark side of being single is that there is a ton of lack of emotional support. Being single means I have to be my own emotional support system. And while that sounds empowering, the truth is it can also be exhausting. There's a kind of emotional weight that comes with doing life on my own. And after a while, I started to realize that being single doesn't mean sleeping alone or eating alone. It means feeling alone, especially when things get hard. When I am feeling overwhelmed, when I am anxious or going through something heavy, there's no built-in person who just knows. No one who senses the shift in my tone. No one who looks at me and say, hey, you don't seem okay. Talk to me. Because yeah, I have friends, I have families, I have people I can reach out to, but it's not the same as having someone who's always there, right? Someone who knows my emotional patterns, who doesn't need the full backstory every time I break down. As a single woman, support isn't automatic. I have to ask for it. I have to say, hey, you guys, I'm struggling. I need help. And in hope someone has the space for me. But sometimes just asking takes more energy than I have. And in those moments, I carry it by myself. I become my own comfort, my own calm, my own rescue plan. I've learned to hold myself up, but I've also learned how lonely that kind of strength can feel. There are days I just want someone to notice without me having to explain, to sit beside me in silence, to say, "You don't have to be strong right now. I've got you." But as a single individual, those moments don't come naturally. I have to fight for support, schedule it, hope for it, and sometimes it doesn't come at all. That's the emotional gap no one talks about. Not just being alone, but being unheld emotionally. And the longer I go without it, the more it starts to affect me. Not just in my mood, but in the way I trust, the way I open up, the way I believe someone would actually stay long enough to see me fully. So, yeah, being single can build strength, but it can also create a quiet, aching lack of emotional support. And some days, that's the hardest part of all. Next is number three, which is no physical intimacy. Ugh, you guys, when I became a single person, right? Yes, it sounds nice, right? I have freedom, I have space, I have a lot of time to figure myself out. But one thing it doesn't give me, or at least not naturally, is physical intimacy. And the truth is, that's something I do miss a lot, okay? I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. And I don't just mean sex, okay? I mean the everyday touch, the physical touch that so many people in relationships probably take for granted. The absence of touch starts to feel less like independence and more like a quiet ache my body doesn't know how to ignore. I do miss being held, not in a desperate way, but in a human way. Because no matter how emotionally strong I am, I still crave the comfort of someone's arms around me after a long, draining day. I still want the warmth of someone lying next to me. Not for conversation, not for anything deep, just for closeness. There are nights when I realize I haven't been touched in years. No hand to hold, no kiss goodnight, not even a brush on the shoulder. And in those moments, I'm reminded that physical intimacy isn't just about romance or passion, it's about connection. It's about being reminded in a physical, present way that I'm not alone in this world. I am a PDA type of girl and I have no shame, okay? No shame of showing or doing things with a person I love in public. Of course, I'm going to keep it PG-13, okay? Keeping it appropriate. So it's not going to be anything too much, but it's just how I show someone I am with that I crave and love intimacy. Being single has given me space to grow, but it's also given me long stretches of time without being touched, held, or even physically seen. And no matter how mentally or emotionally strong I am, that lack, it still gets to me. Because sometimes I don't want words, I don't want advices, I don't even want a conversation. I just want someone to, reach out, reach over, pull me close, and remind me without saying a thing that I'm not doing life completely alone. Number four, this is also a big major shadow side of being single is financial burdens. Now, being single isn't just about being emotionally or physically alone sometimes. It also means being financially alone too. Every single bills I have is all mine, okay? The rent, all me. Groceries, utilities, car payments, insurance, unexpected emergencies. I don't get to split those costs with anyone. There's no second income, even though I wish there is. I could get a second income, but the point is this: no one is there to soften the blow when something breaks or the price of everything keeps going up. I am the only backup plan. And yeah, I've learned how to budget. I know how to stretch a dollar, even within my means, and make things work. But still, it gets tiring. Sometimes I look at couples or families who have two incomes, shared expenses, someone to split gas money with, or take turns covering meals. And I think, must be nice. Because when I go out to eat, it's my card every time. When I book a vacation, yes, I am paying the entire cost all by myself. Even the idea of saving for the future becomes more complicated when I don't have someone else building along with me. There's no one to say, hey, I got this bill when I'm struggling. No one to fall back if I lose my job. No one to help carry the weight when I'm just barely making it. And it's not just the money. It's the mental load of always having to think about it, always calculating, always preparing for the what ifs, because if something happens, there's no financial safety net. It's just always going to be on me. Being single can mean freedom in so many ways, but when it comes to finances, you guys, that freedom sometimes feels more like pressure. And even if I am doing okay, even if I'm stable, I'm still stressed and it never completely goes away because I know that one major life event could flip everything. No partner to lean on, no shared goals to work towards, no us to split the weight of the world. Just me, doing my best, carrying it all, hoping I can stay ahead. That's the part about being single people don't talk about enough. The quiet financial strain of doing life completely on my own. And the last one, the shadow side of being single, is life decision making. Now, the first four that I mentioned can pertain to this as well too, because living as a single person, it has given me tons of freedom to make my own choices. But I'm gonna let you know that freedom can also feel incredibly heavy because when it comes to making big life decisions, whether it's a change in my career, moving to a new city, taking financial risk, health choices, even something that is simple as whether to book a vacation, I don't have a built-in person to talk it through with. No one to say, yeah, that makes sense, or have you thought about this? No one to weigh the pros and cons with me, to offer a different perspective, or just sit in the uncertainties with me. It's all me. And while I trust myself, I've learned how to make decisions on my own. It's not always easy. In fact, sometimes it's overwhelming because if I make the wrong choice, there's no safety net. There's no one else to share the consequences. There's no we, there's just me. In a relationship, life decisions are shared. They're talked about, navigated together. Even if the outcome's uncertain, there's comfort in knowing someone else is in it with me. But as a single person, every decision feels like a high stakes solo mission. I don't get to say, let's figure this out. I have to figure it out alone. And sometimes it's not the decisions that's hard, it's the second guessing afterwards. That voice in my head that says, did I do the right thing? Would someone else have seen this differently? And there's no one there to calm that doubt, to reassure me that I am on the right path. So yeah, being single gives me independence, of course, but it also means navigating some of the most important moments in life without emotional backup. And some days I don't want total freedom. I just want someone to sit across from me and just say, whatever we decide, we're in this together. Because making decisions alone builds strength, but it also builds a kind of quiet pressure that I carry every single day. So yeah, all in all, you guys, being single has taught me strength for sure, but it also brought me every insecurity that I ever buried. It's challenged my patience, tested my self-worth, and forced me to sit with a kind of silence that sometimes feels way too loud. I don't say any of this to sound bitter. I say it because it's true. And I think there's a strength in being honest about not so pretty parts of the season of life. It's okay to hold space for what's hard, even while being grateful for what's good. And that is all I have for you guys. Very sweet and simple. I guess throughout my episodes, I've been mentioning certain things that I'm struggling with, but these are just the 5 main things that I have noticed about being single that is on the shadow side of it. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of things that you guys can add to the list. Even I can add this to the list. But you have to see this in my point of view, or your own point of view. When it comes to you yourself, you're not dependent on anyone, or you're not single and desperately needing someone to be there. No, it's more of being able to share your life with someone and how good it would be to have that, right? And when you don't have that extra person in your life, or let's say if you don't want to be in a relationship, but you want to be in a relationship with your family or your friends, right? Sometimes having that second person or the third person or so forth to help you in life, it just ease your anxiety. Because for me, there are times where I have anxiety, okay, over some stupid shit. I don't even have anybody to talk to. I mean, of course, I could talk to my friends about it, but for me personally in my household, it would just be nice to just have someone to talk to just see what their thought is. Of course, you can have like many examples of the challenges that you have in your life as a single person, but I think these are some things that I am, struggling, or I used to struggle with, or currently struggling with. But I do have to say that it's just one of those things that you have to experience in order for you to learn from it and to grow from it as well too, and also give yourself grace. Although this is the season for me to go through this, I am okay with it, knowing that it's just something that I have to learn in life. And if I can teach others or influence others to embrace singleness, embrace the shadow side of it, then you'll be okay. If you do need help with your emotion, your mentality, or all that stuff, it's okay to reach out to people. Hey, you can reach out to me too if you want to. We could talk about it. And I get it. Being single, it can be tough. And sometimes people who are in a relationship, they may envy you and your singleness, but they also have to also understand that being single is not all about, it's not happy dandy, okay? We get the freedom. We don't have to wait for anybody. We can eat, sleep, drink, and do whatever the fuck we want to do. If you're the type of person that wants to share your life with someone else, with a partner or family, friends, or whoever it is, then that's just the kind of person you are. Although you're single, it'll be nice to just share your life with someone and to also experience another person's life as well too. So it's normal. It's just about being human, and I get it. All in all, these are just the 5 things that I have come across that has been a major part of the shadow side of being single. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good. And I just learned to live with it, to see the good in it, see the shadow side and the light side of anything that is in my life. And being single, these are just some things that I've seen. And I just wanted to share with you guys so that you guys are aware and you guys know that for those who are single, knows that you're not alone in this. I feel you. I love you guys. And we can do this, okay? We can live the single life, embrace it, and just be honest with people. And yeah, all in all, I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. Like I said, I kept it really sweet, very simple, straight to the point. There's just a lot that has been going on in my mind, and this is just one of the things that has been happening in my life as well. Just thinking about my life. I've been single for almost 5 years, and I do reflect on my life to see where I'm actually going. Do I want to continue to be single, or do I want to put myself out into the world, which I kind of dread doing? That could be a different episode, okay? I will explain that to you guys in depth about that. Do I want to be single forever, or do I want to find love? I don't know. Maybe I need to find love within myself, continue finding love within me. I don't know. But these are just some things that I am currently thinking about in my head as I'm living life. But yeah, I'm going to end the episode here. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. And like I say, I feel you, okay? My single people, I feel you. We can get through this. Give yourself grace. Love yourself. just reward yourself with something, okay? If you have to DoorDash yourself some food and reward yourself with having the best day, or you did good, you worked hard for your life, reward yourself with food or reward yourself with whatever you need, okay? All in all, that is it. You guys can always reach out to me on my social medias and also check out my website at yourstruly.com. And I will be there to, I don't know, entertain you guys or give you guys any advice or whatever you guys have questions on. I'm always here. All right. Other than that, I hope that you guys are having a good one. Thanks for stopping by and listening to this episode or listening to my podcast. And other than that, I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.